तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। शांति शांति शांति। With this Shanti mantra, we invoke the very Parabrahman who is represented by the symbol Om, and we seek the protection of the divine. We seek strength to pursue this path of study of Ashtavakra Gita. We commit to put sincere efforts on this path, and we also pray that whatever we learn, it stays with us in our memory as an experience. And finally, we also promise each other that we do not want to be the cause of disharmony, discord, or sorrow to each other. And we pray for the peace in the body, in the mind, and in the spirit. With this Shanti mantra, prayer for peace, we begin the study of Ashtavakra Gita from today. Just yesterday we heard Ashtavakra is a young guru. He is not qualified as a guru. He did not get a degree certificate from a university. He did not have any accolades, prizes, recognitions, or awards to claim that he is an official guru. But his wisdom is his proof. As the proof of the rain is the wet soil, likewise, the proof of a guru is jnana. Wisdom is the proof of that guru. And Janaka tests Ashtavakra's wisdom before he lets him into the Yagashala, because also he was worried whether he can ever debate with Vandin or defeat him. But Ashtavakra proves himself, he wins the debate, and then he redeems his own father from the curse of being drowned in the ocean, and also redeems so many other people. That's why it is said about a jnani, sa tarati, sa lokans tarayati. A jnani not only crosses over, but he takes others also along and helps them also cross over. And that is the beauty of jnana. Many years ago when I asked Bhagavan, what is the best service I can do for you? He told me, become a jnani, become a self-realized person. Because then there will be two suns in the sky, one me and one you. With one sun only the whole universe of ours is sustained. Imagine if you have two suns, how much more sustenance, light, energy would be provided. So he said the best service one can do is to become a jnani, because then one rises like a spiritual sun. In the light of that sun, all ignorance is dispelled and people can see things as it is. The darkness disappears. So that is the best help you can do. Then I told him, so give me Brahma Jnana so that I can do that help. He said, you are not ready yet, but I am preparing you. If I pour water in a pot which is still unbaked, which is still not fully ready, it will collapse. All the water will be wasted. If I pass a high voltage current through a very low capacity wire, the wire will burn. It won't be able to carry the voltage, the current. So it will be a waste of effort. But wait, I'll prepare you, and one day when you're ready, I'll give you what I come to give you. The key is with me, he said. So Ashtavakra is here to give jnana to Janaka. Janaka is the jignasu. We know in Bhagavad Gita, Arti, Jignasu, Artharti, Jnani, cha Bharatarshabha. Sri Krishna says 4 kinds of people come to God, seeking 4 different things. Artis come with problems in life. Oh God, solve my problems. Arthartis come with desires in life. Fulfill my desires, my ambitions, my wants. Then Jignasu come, who are curious to know about God, about spirituality. They are not interested in lower things of worldly things, even though they have problems, but they don't think that is the right thing to ask. Even though they have desires, they do not want to waste the opportunity with God by asking those desires to be fulfilled. They're only curious to know what is God, what is Brahman, how do I attain that, how do I experience that, what is the path to it. So jignasus are like. And then there are jnanis who have crossed even this. They know God by experience. God is no more a mystery, no more a question mark. They have experienced the presence of God in their lives and they live a godly life. So they are the four kinds of people. But Krishna says amongst the four, jnanis are the best. They are the best devotees I have because they do not have any desires left. They do not talk to me about their problems. They do not ask me for things. They simply want to experience me and be joyful, reveling in that experience. Bharata is defined by Bhagavan as Bhagavantudulo Ratinchevalu. The Indians or Bharatiyas are those who revel in God. So, Ashtavakra Gita is a dialogue between Ashtavakra, the Guru, the young Guru, 10 years or 12 years old by then Janaka, the old king, who was very curious about God and godly things. As we have seen, he was performing many yajnas, yagas. He would invite a lot of scholars to his court. He will reward them very well. Because of that desire, Ashtavakra's father also went there, isn't it? And he would have many preceptors in his court who would give him a lot of wisdom. And he was very curious, but he had not realized the self yet. He was still a jignasu, he was not a jnani. So he needed a jnani to become a jnani. When the philosopher's stone touches another base metal, that also turns into gold, they say. So you need that magnet, that stone, to transform you. So a jnani only can transform anybody into jnani. Without a jnani, you cannot attain jnana. So who is that jnani? A guru is that jnani. And guru is the one who can give us that jnana because he has it with him. The one who has traveled this path only can tell you what is this path all about. Where are the pitfalls, where are the turns, where are the various other things. So that is the idea that guru is extremely important in our scriptures. All cultures acknowledge the need for guru, but in our scripture, spiritual paramparas, gurus are extremely important. But then gurus, not those who are still jignasus. Gurus, those who are jnanis, but they are very rare. Because with experience, when you speak, there is authority in it of the experience. There is clarity, there is conviction, and that makes a huge impact than repeating it from books like parrots. Now, Janaka, after so many years, he has spent listening to so many preceptors, but he is not satisfied. But when he sees Ashtavakra, he is immediately convinced that this is the Guru who can really give me jnana. Maybe before that, he had met people, maybe they were jnanis too. Maybe Janaka was not ready yet. Both have to be ready. Guru has to be ready and Shishya also has to be ready. An old saying, a Chinese proverb says, when Shishya is ready, Guru appears. And when Shishya is really ready, Guru disappears. So now Janaka is ready, so Ashtavakra has appeared. Because he has to teach Janaka some important lessons of spirituality. Bhagavad Gita also is a dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna. There Krishna is the Guru and Arjuna is the Shishya. Shishya steham shadivam tvam prapannam. Arjuna says, oh Lord, for once I don't think of you as my cousin, as my friend, as my playmate, but first time I am surrendering to you as a Shishya, as a disciple. Please guide me. Only then Sri Krishna starts guiding Arjuna. Till then he does not guide. So Janaka here falls flat at the feet of Ashtavakra and says, oh Lord, Lord of the land is Janaka, he is the king. But he calls Ashtavakra Prabhu, oh Lord. To a 10, 12-year-old boy, he is telling, oh Lord, please be seated on my throne. And he sits at his feet and seeks wisdom. Because parampara means para apara, they say, from higher to lower. Knowledge flows from higher to the lower. So the Guru always is seated above and the Shishya has to be seated below. Symbolically, it is conveying that knowledge must flow from the Guru to the Shishya. You can't put the Guru down and sit on the chair and ask Guru to teach. That is not the way it should be. Nor sit at the same level also. You must always sit a level below. The idea is that Janaka, such a great king, falls at the feet of a young guru, sits there and seeks wisdom. Shraddhaya paripatena pariprashnena sevaya, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. With Shraddha you must come to Guru, with sincere faith. Viveka Chudamani explains, Shastrasya Guru Vakyasya Satya Buddhyavadaranam. Shraddha is that to believe completely the words of Guru and the scriptures is Shraddha. Sa katita Shraddha sadbhi yaya vastupalabhyate. That attainment of the self is possible only for the person who has Shraddha. So what is the qualification you must have before you even attend a class like this? You must have sincere faith in the words of the scriptures and in the words of the Guru. If you do not have faith and you sit here, nothing is going to transpire. It will be one way communication, the other way there is no reception because there is no Shraddha. So imagine our scriptures, very kind. They say, we don't expect scholarly dispositions. We don't expect you to be great learned one. We don't expect you to be born in a certain family, in a certain caste, in a certain way. We do not expect you to do any other thing other than to have pure faith in the words of the Guru and the Shastra. If you have that, then please come, because then you will be able to learn. Mundaka Upanishad also says, when does a person go to a Guru? He says, Pariksha lokan karmachitan brahmana nirvedamayat na asti kaschit akrita kritena. A person goes around the world seeking so many things, also wants to seek the highest, God himself. But he realizes at the end, all the effort that he is putting at the worldly level is not going to help him attain that which cannot be attained by efforts, who is beyond these efforts. It has to be attained by grace. So what does he do finally? He comes to a Guru. Tad vijnanartham gurumeva abhigached. Samitpanihi shotriyam brahmanishtha. He tried everything to attain wisdom and not being able to attain it, finally comes to a Guru. What does it mean? Shishya alone by Shraddha cannot attain wisdom. You need to have a Guru along with the Shishya who has that Shraddha. A Guru. What kind of Gurus? Shrotriyam brahmanishtaha. Shrotriya means learned in the scriptures. Shrotriya, Shruti means scriptures. That which is heard, because all our scriptures were only heard by the rishis in their meditative state. Not spoken by them, not created by them, it's given by God to them. So Shruti. Shrotriya means that Guru who is learned in the scriptures, who understands the scriptures through experience. And Brahmanishtha, who has complete conviction in the self, that he is the self. He is not the body, he is not the mind, he is the divine. That conviction is complete in such a Guru. Brahmanishtaha. Such a person, first Sishya must approach. How? Samitpanihi, with dry wood. Earlier rishis used to perform yajna, so firewood was put in the fire and that's how the homas and agnihotras were performed. So whenever somebody approached them, they had to carry some gift, an offering. So they would carry dry sticks, dry wood, so that it can be used for the rituals. But the significance is that the dry wood you carry come with a dry mind, not mind which is full of attachments, ideas, ambitions, desires. Bereft of all that, egotism, attachments, the mind that is free to learn. With such a mind, you must come to a Guru. So that preparation is important. You come with wet wood, it won't catch fire, only smoke. Guru also will suffer, you will also suffer in that smoke. If it's fire, then there is light, there is warmth. So preparation of the Shishya is very important to receive the wisdom from the Guru. Preparation of Guru is also there. He is a Shrotriya, he is a Brahmanishta. But preparation of the Shishya, Shraddha in his heart and Samitpani like mind, dry mind, without any other desires, no other ambitions, no other goals. Only goal is to attain wisdom. So with that, the Shishya approaches the Guru, and here is Janaka, perfect Shishya, and he is a perfect Guru in Ashtavakra. And humility of Janaka, being a king, he prostrates at the feet, Shraddhaya paripatena, Krishna says, with Shraddha he prostrates, paripatena, pariprashnena sevaya, and serving his feet, he asks the right question, pariprashna. Prashna means question, pariprashna means the right question. So Janaka is not asking that, will I be the biggest king in this or on this earth? Will I always rule for so many years? Will my daughters get married to nice people? He doesn't ask anything. He asks the right question, pariprashnaha, because he knows the value of Ashtavakra's presence. He doesn't want to waste it asking other things. So pariprashnena, sevaya. You must do seva to the Guru, because then Guru should become happy. Once he's happy, he gives you. So you must please the Guru, sevaya. That's why it will do seva, do seva. Why? Because your seva will please me, please God. Then God will give you whatever you require. But don't do seva to me personally. Seva to anybody, everybody is reaching God only. Sarvajiva namaskaram, keshavam pratigacchati. All that you do for everybody, it goes to God. So that seva one should do, sevaya. Ask the right question. Then what do the Gurus do? Upadekshanti. They will give upadesha. They will give you wisdom. They will give you a discourse, instructions, how to go about it. Upadekshanti and te jnanam, it says, but Shirdi Baba interpreted such, they don't give you wisdom. They only show you, they only remove ignorance. When they remove ignorance, wisdom automatically happens, because you are already the embodiment of wisdom. When things appear, when sun rises in the sky, suddenly you can see things clearly. Were the things not there in the first place? They were always there. You couldn't see because there was darkness. Like that, Guru just removes the darkness. Guru. Gu, darkness, Ru, the remover of it. So Guru removes the darkness and you see things as they are. They were always there. Yourself was always there. You were always divine. You just did not see it. So Shirdi Baba says, the Guru removes the ajnana, the ignorance from you. He doesn't add wisdom to you. You already are wise. He only removes the cover, that which is hiding your wisdom from you. Once he removes that, you see things as they are. So upadekshanti te ajnanam jnanina tattvadarshinaha. Jnani, the wise one, are tattvadarshis. Tattva is another word for the truth, the self. So jnanis are tattvadarshi, only they can do this for you. Why? Because they know how to do it. They already have done it, so they can guide you. So this is the way Janaka approaches our Ashtavakra, prostrates, does seva, and then asks the right question. And then Ashtavakra, a Tattvadarshi, a Jnani, he removes the ignorance of Janaka and helps him realize the truth. Some are new, some are from abroad, some might be listening to you first time. Indian scriptures completely believe that we are divine. And divine does not mean you have 5 hands, 4 hands, 6 hands, you have so many powers. Now, there is a Saguna Brahma and Nirguna Brahma is what we say. Brahma is the name of the divine in our scriptures, Sanatana Dharma, which means Brahat. Brahat means vast, infinite. So that is the nature of divine. Everywhere, every place it exists. So that divinity, Brahma, is described by our scriptures. So 2 ways Brahma is there in this world, they said. In 2 ways God manifests. One, there is no form, no name, which many other philosophies also believe in. The other one is with a form and a name. Yesterday we worshipped Lord Krishna. It is the same Brahman, but with the form and name of Lord Krishna. It's called Saguna Brahma, the one with attributes. And then there is this Nirguna Brahma, the one without attributes. That is why Sanatana Dharma has no conflicts whatsoever with anybody else. Some people say God has a form, some people say God has no form. Sanatana Dharma says God is so capable that he can always take a form or he can remain without form. And you can worship him in whichever way your heart pleases. So it's so open and so accepting of ideas. You can enjoy God both ways, it says. With bhakti, Saguna Bhakti, you can enjoy Nirguna Bhakti also, you can enjoy the presence of God. Ashtavakra Gita is more about Nirguna Bhakti. Many of them are quite upset by that because they say Bhakti means I should have a form and a name, I should offer Naivedyam, flower, prayers, worship, all the things that chanting and singing, dancing, that is what makes me feel good. I need a Krishna or a Rama or Bhagavan, something to relate to. No problem. Ashtavakra is not going to say, no, throw away all those photos and idols and flowers and lamps. He is not going to say that. So don't do that also after going back. So there is no conflict between this Jnana Marga, Nirguna Bhakti and Saguna Bhakti. Don't go back and do all these crazy things. In fact, enjoy that, oh, God took this form also, how beautiful. God took that form also, how beautiful. Everything that you see as divine, you start enjoying it. That's what I do when I go for a morning walk or I go into the gardens. I look at so many flowers, leaves, birds, and I see all this is God. How fascinating. Every leaf is God, every flower is God. There is God in everything. And how many forms does he take? How creative. How intelligent, how ingenious is God, that He can take so many forms. He can become bitterness in a fruit, so also sweetness is another fruit. He can become tangy flavor in one fruit, he can become sourness in another fruit. All this in red, a blue, a green, a yellow, all kinds of flowers are Him. That a jnani start enjoying that diversity, has no conflict, no issues. So when you study Ashtavakra Gita, first thing, don't go and think that I don't need any God anymore, I know I am only God. If you know you are God, then you will never come with these kind of stupid arguments at all, because everything is okay. Why? Nirvedamaya. You will not have to ask for anything, you already are done with it. Like our says, Mundaka Upanishad, who is the best of the jnanis? Prano hi esha sarvabhutair vibhati vijanan vidvan bhavte nati vadi. He doesn't speak much. One quality of real jnani is they don't speak too much. Means they don't speak unnecessarily. They don't get into arguments, unwanted arguments with others. And they don't want to prove a point to anybody. They are happy unto themselves. Somebody says, no, the way you are worshipping God is wrong. Once it seems Buddha said, some argument was going on and Buddha told this person. And the person said, no, how can you say God is like this, God does not exist, God exists, this kind of a argument. He said, I'll give you one piece of advice. Do not argue with fools. But he continued, but if you don't argue with the fools, then how will fools learn what is right? Buddha says, yes, you are right. Why argue and waste time with people? So, a jnani will not argue and debate and unnecessarily get into controversial statements. He will do his part, he is happy within himself. Atma Rati, Atma Krida, Kriyavan. That jnani is full of joy within himself. Outside also he sees joys in everything. Every flower, leaf, bird, beast, everything is divine. He enjoys that. But Kriyavan, but still he is active in the world, does not withdraw saying, what's the point? No, he is very active, does what is needed. Esha Brahma Vidam Varishtaha. They are the best of the knowers of Brahman. There are those also who retreat and go off to Himalayas and stay away from the society, but there are those who enjoy the society and all in it as a divine gift. You enjoy the wealth, you enjoy the relations, you enjoy all the name and popularity, as long as you don't get attached to any of it. Then God is not going to take it away. Why should God take it away? It doesn't make any difference to you or to God, right? So, but once you get attached, He will pull it away from you. So remember that. So that is how Brahmavidas are very engaged in the world, but they are not at all attached to anything. It's a very strange position to be in. Only one who is that will know what it is like. Others may think, oh, I am not attached. But then something happens and your emotions start coming in again. So that check you have to do, self-check. And this is a little background I wanted to give why Guru Shishya Parampara, how a Shishya should be full of Shraddha and humility and do seva to the Guru, and how Guru should be. He should be very active in the world, yet absolutely detached. He is very learned, very convinced, very experienced, and does not unnecessarily argue and debate. Of course, Ashtavakra came to debate because he wanted to redeem his father, but otherwise he has no reason to debate. But I believe there was a story that Ashtavakra, when he enters the court, when king finally officially invites him to the court, there are already many wise people sitting on the thrones, everybody has got their chairs there. Ashtavakra enters and Janaka tries to worship him, others laugh. Hey, what will this person with so many problems, what will he teach? Such a young boy with crooked body, what will he teach like that? Then Ashtavakra says, I thought I have come to a court of wise men, not the court of shoemakers, who only see the skin of people and decide whether the person is good or bad. So he comments like that. He said, just because the temple's shikhara, the dome is tilted, does it mean sky is tilted? Just because body is crooked, does it mean Atman, the soul is crooked? So this kind of arguments he puts forth. Anyway, so that is the wisdom of Ashtavakra. And finally, Pariprashna happens. Janaka asks the right questions. Janaka uvacha, Janaka speaks. Katham jnanam vapnoti, katham muktir bhavishyati, vairagyam cha katham praptam, etad bruhi mama prabho. See, amazing, straight he asks what is truly to be asked. Does not mince words, does not waste time. What does it mean? It simply means, Janaka asks, how does one attain knowledge? How does liberation come to be? How is dispassion acquired? O Lord, please explain this to me. This is Janaka's question. 3 questions he asks. Katham jnanam apnoti? How do we attain wisdom? What wisdom? Wisdom of the self, that I am the divine, not other than that. How do I attain it? That is the first question. Straight away, to the point. Second, Katham muktir bhavishyati? How do we attain liberation from the bondage of I and mine? How do I liberate myself? Second question. Third question, Vairagyam cha katham praptam? How do we attain dispassion, detachment? How do I give up things? How do I give up attachment to things? Etad, this bruhi, tell me, Mama, oh my Prabhu, Lord. He addresses a little boy like Lord, because he is truly wise. Vidwan sarvatra pujyate, swadeshe pujyate raja, Vidwan sarvatra pujyate. A king is worshipped only in his kingdom. A wise one is worshipped everywhere. So he is a wise one. What wonderful questions. This is a delight for the Guru. When a Guru hears these kind of questions, Guru is extremely delighted. And Ashtavakra naturally is delighted. So obviously he is going to answer that. But look at the preparation of Janaka. He is not attached to anything. He is asking how do I get detached? A king generally will be attached to so many things, to the kingdom, to the throne, to the people, to the wealth, all this. But he wants to get rid of all these things. And he has done so many yajnas, 12 years he has been doing yajnas there, but nothing has happened, looks like. That's why he is still confused that I have done 12 years of yajnas and rituals and all kinds of things, but I have not attained the path to my own liberation. I have not attained dispassion. I have not attained wisdom. That is his pain. That is his pain. And that is why he asks Ashtavakra, forget about all other things. Teach me straight this one, because I know only you can teach me, you know that. That is the beauty of our Janaka asking that. Like in Mundakopanishad, Kasminnu Bhagavo Vigyate, Sarvavidam Vignatam Bhavati iti, Shaunaka. He asked Angirasa, what is that I should know, by knowing which everything can be known? Means what is the essence? It means once you know the earth or earthen pot you want to know about, you must know the mud with which it has been made. Likewise, when you see the ornaments, you need to know the gold. Once you know gold, you know the ornaments. Like that he asks, what is that truth I should know so that I know everything? And the truth is that everything is divine. Once you know that, you see everything as divine. That truth in that Mundakopanishad, that Rishi asks, here Janaka is asking, because the answer to it in Mundakopanishad is Dve Vidya Veditavye. Itihasma yad Brahma Vido Vadanti. The knowledgeable ones have told 2 kinds of education you must have. Paracha iva paracha, the higher one and the lower one. Tatra para, Rigvedo, Yajurvedo, Samavedo, Atharvana Veda, and all the 6 kind of Shastras, everything you should know. That is only lower knowledge. The higher knowledge is Tat Brahma Adhigamyati, Tad Aksharam Adhigamyati. That which takes you to the final infinite, that is the higher knowledge. You must know that knowledge. When Janaka has asked this question, a lot of explanation is there. But one word I want to really dwell on is Vairagya. See, Vairagya is, sometimes we get Vairagya, dispassion. Somebody dies very dear to us, suddenly we develop Vairagya. The world is temporary, there is nobody real here, there is nothing permanent. And we think we have developed dispassion, but our scriptures know that such people exist, so they call it Shmashana Vairagya. When you go to cremate your near and dear ones, you come back very detached or very dispassionate. You become very philosophical. But they say this doesn't last. This only lasts for a few days till you are going through those emotions. Then again you are back to the normal, and then you are again attached in doing your things. So what is the real Vairagya? Para Vairagya, which comes from beyond, with the knowledge of the self, what comes, that Vairagya, that kind of detachment or dispassion one must develop on this path. And that is what Janaka is asking. So he wants to know how to remain permanently detached from everything. Para Vairagya, our scriptures talk about. And here I have mentioned 2 shlokas from the scripture called Patanjali Yoga Sutras. This is a scripture by Rishi Patanjali, and there are sutras, means aphorisms, short statements. And here 1 or 2 I have mentioned that what is Vairagyam? Drishta Anushravika Vishay Vitrishnasya Vashikara Sangya iti Vairagyam. The Patanjali Yoga Sutra in Samadhi Pada, it says, Drishta means that which is seen, Anushravika, that which is heard directly or indirectly from anybody, Such Vishaya, such kind of sense objects or sensory pleasures, Vitrishnasya, one who develops desirelessness for that, and complete control, Vashikara Sangya, develops control over desires for things that he has heard or seen, that state, Sangya, is called Vairagya. Sometimes we have not seen a thing, but we have heard from somebody and we develop attachment towards it. That also should be given up. You must have control over a desire for a thing that you have seen or you have heard from somebody. You should not develop a desire for it. That is Vairagya, is the first definition. But this Vairagya could be like Shmashana Vairagya also. It may stay and it may go away and come back again when you hear something nicer. And that is how this Vairagya comes and grows, and that happens to most of us. But one more type of Vairagya that the same scripture talks about is a higher Vairagya, which is called Tatparam Purusha Khyate Guna Vaitrishniyam. Tatparam Purusha. Tatparam means that highest. Purusha means the indweller of us all. Pura means the body. Shaha means the one who is staying. So the divine who dwells within, the one who comes to know of it. What kind of Vairagya such a person develops? Guna Vaitrishniyam. He develops a kind of dispassion which is not external but internal. Internal means even the desire for it inside you disappears. Sometimes you can give up a desire on the outside because it is unattainable. So you say, better I do not desire for it. But inside you still crave for it secretly. You pine for it. But if you realize the self, if you see that divinity within, even those vestiges of such desires will disappear from the root. Like our hair we cut, it grows back, right? Grass we cut, it grows back. Why? Because roots are there. Only external trimming and pruning is happening. But if you pull it out from the root, to uproot it, that's when it ends. So first type of thing which you have heard, seen, because you realize it is not good for you, somebody advised you, you could not attain it, you give up on it, that is one type of Vairagya, but that is not permanent. The permanent should be, from the root it should be removed. The guna we call it. Guna means some qualities within us, tamo guna, rajo guna, sattva guna, you know. From the root of it, it should go away. In Jain tradition, the monks, when they become monks, you know what they do? They pull out all their hair in locks with their hands. They pluck it out. So it never grows back because the roots are not there. They know, like our tradition, if we shave, again we have to shave after 15 days. But it will grow back. In Jain tradition, hair by hair they pluck it out because they don't want it to grow back again. Likewise, these desires should be uprooted, not just trimmed, pruned or controlled. Vashikara means control. Vaitrishnya, Guna Vaitrishnya means uprooting. So Vairagya of that nature Janaka is asking for. From the root, let it go away, all my desires. Let me develop absolute dispassion. Somebody who sees at a person like this will think, what a boring life that would be. You are not interested in anything, you are not attached to anything, you don't desire for anything. It will be such a boring life. But let me tell you, they are the best. Why? Because they enjoy everything without any attachment. As and when it comes, they enjoy it. If it doesn't come also, they are not disappointed. That's the best life. Because if you have desire and if you don't get it fulfilled, you get disappointed. If it gets filled, of course, you are joyful. But if it doesn't, then you are becoming miserable. That happens all the time. We keep swinging between the two. One day happy, one day sad. Because one day is day which has been good for us, the other day it has not been good for us. But all this happens because we have desire. If desire itself is not there for things, where is the question of being happy or sorrow? But can we live this life without any desire? You may say it's not possible. I say it is possible. How is it possible? You don't desire for it, but you nevertheless engage in action like the Brahman Vidas for the welfare of all. Loka Sangraha Mevapi, Janaka Deha, Bhagavad Gita says, Janaka like people were always engaged in the action for the sake of the betterment of the society, not for any desire for themselves. So yes, in that betterment of the society, your betterment is also looked after. See, when you are the Prime Minister of the country, you want to work for the welfare of the country, you will be given privileges, you will be given a house, a car, a security, certain powers, privileges, which comes with your job. Likewise, the King Janaka can remain a king and enjoy what job brings him, but does not desire for it. That is the idea of desirelessness and dispassion. And it is a very fundamental principle to begin your spiritual journey. These are ingredients, these are the basic steps you must have. Don't think first I will realize everything, then my desires will disappear. No, it doesn't work like that. Unless your desires disappear, you do not realize the self. It's the other way around. And of course, once that self is realized, no desire appear again. But unless you get rid of your existing desires, you don't even start on this journey. This is why Janaka straight away asked, please teach me how to become detached, dispassionate, because I know whatever you teach after that is not going to be of any use to me. I will not be able to gain anything out of it because I have not developed the basic prerequisites, the qualities that are needed for me to attain self, which is how to develop dispassion, how to develop detachment from things, how to develop the ability to get rid of my ideas and attachments and ego. This is the beginning. That's why I said, where there is I, there cannot be Sai. Because I is the root cause of all the desires, and I comes from the idea that I am the body and the mind. Now Ashtavakra will explain how to get rid of it. Very opening shloka is straight to the point, does not beat around the bush. It straightway tells us what we are seeking over here. Ashtavakra uvacha, muktim ichchasi chetat. If you are really sincerely aiming for liberation, tata means, oh dear one, oh little one. Imagine a 10-year-old telling probably an 80-year-old, oh little one, because he is little in spirituality. He is a balam, as our Yama says in Katopnishad. Na samparaya patibhati balam, he says. They are kids in spirituality, they are childish. So he addresses Janaka as Tata. So muktim ichchasi chetat. If you want to attain mukti, you are sincere about it, do this first. What is that? Vishayan vishavatyaja. Give up the desire for the pleasures of the world like one would give up poison. Nobody would like to drink a cup of poison, however beautiful the cup might be. Nobody, even if it is given free, nobody would do that. Even in your favorite dish, if somebody says poison has fallen, you are not going to taste it, right? Even if you are dying to eat it, you will just give it up saying, no, 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 there is poison in it and it will kill me, I won't take it. So that, what you call urgency in giving up things, like you would like to give up poison if it's fed to you, that kind of sincerity and urgency if you have for liberation, then let's even talk, Ashtavakra is saying. If you are not that sincere, let's not waste each other's time. That's why Chet, if Tat, oh dear one, Mukti Michasi, you desire for liberation, then first thing Vishayan, all those which are sense objects, sense pleasures, give up now and here, like you would discard a cup of poison. You won't keep it anymore with you. Kshama arjavadaya tosha satyam piyushavad bhaja. First give up all the sense pleasures, that is the first part. The second he says, so what should you do after that? He says, these are the qualities you must savor like you would drink nectar. Piyusha means nectar. Bhaja means enjoy. How will you enjoy a nectarine thing? What are those ideas, qualities which are nectarine? Kshama. Kshama is forgiveness and forbearance both. Only we can bear things, we can forgive people. Kshama is one quality, first quality. Practice this, he says. 2, arjava, straightforwardness, no crooked thoughts. Absolute alignment of your thought, word and action. Arjava. Daya, compassion. And tosha, contentment. These 4 qualities you practice first. First give up all the running behind of sense objects, sense pleasures, I, mine, me. Give up all that like you will give up poison. And the second part is practice these 4 qualities. Many times I say, it's not enough. If you detach the mind from the world, you have to also attach it to God. You cannot remain unattached, simply floating around. If you detach it from the world, it will go and attach to something else. That is the nature of mind. So our Ashtavakra is telling, detach it from the world, but attach it to these good qualities, these practices. Just 4 qualities is saying, Shama, forbearance. In life there are so many ups and downs. Some are good days, some are bad days. Bear it all. That is the idea of Sthita Prajna in Bhagavad Gita, as Krishna says. Who are these Sthita Prajnas? They have no desires, he says. Vita, Raga, Bhaya, Krodha. Given up the idea of Raga, Bhaya, Krodha, All negative qualities they've given up. Atmanyeva atmanatushta, they're happy within themselves. And prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan, all desires they give up. Such people only can practice kshama, forgiveness, who have no desires, have no attachments, therefore they have no fear, no anxiety, no anger, because they are ready to forgive everybody. Kshama is the quality of earth, they say. The earth bears us all. And we do so many things to Mother Earth. But like a mother, she bears us all. She forgives us, allows us to still live on her. Like that, develop a personality where you can forgive. Now imagine if I tell all the people in this room, forgive that one person whom you are still struggling to forgive all these years. Only then let us continue with Ashtavakra Gita. Because what's the point in teaching otherwise? We all have something within our hearts that we are holding grudges against somebody, I'm sure. Everybody will have, and small or big, I'm not talking about that. But first Ashtavakra is demanding from Janaka and from all of us. What? Forgive that one person or 2% or 10 people, whomever you have not forgiven so far. Only then let us continue the teaching. So that is the first very demand from Ashtavakra. Otherwise, don't waste my time, Ashtavakra is telling. And you know what? When you will just think that you have learned how to forgive, the most difficult person in your life you have forgiven, finally after 10, 20, 30 years of holding all that poisonous ideas, feelings within you, just then God will send another difficult person in your life to test your ability to forgive. He will not leave you unless he removes it from the root. Remember, uprooting it. He will test you. Just when you think you have attained all that, suddenly one more test will come and it will shake up everything. The very first quality of forgiveness itself is so difficult. What will attain moksha and all that? They will not able to forgive. Okay, forgiving others is still easy. Forgiving oneself. We hold so much negativity within ourselves for ourselves because we know ourselves how bad we are. And we feel guilty. We feel terrible about it. And I've seen so many people get into depression and self-harm because they can't forgive themselves. Yes, you made a mistake at some point in time, because of you somebody was harmed. But can you keep living in it forever, dwelling in it forever? Then how will you progress? Everybody makes mistake. Mistake is not a mistake if you have learned from it. You can forgive that mistake very easily. If you don't learn, then you have to be punished, or at least do some self-correction. But forgiving others and forgiving oneself, both are part of kshama. Without that, we cannot take the next step in this path of spirituality. First practice. So you have to really go back and think deeply. Because I said, we are not learning Ashtavakra just for the sake of another intellectual understanding. No, we want to experience it. What he's saying, stop running behind sense objects, he says. That itself is a huge task. But I want to eat this, I want to taste that. Yes, do, but without desire. If it's a part of your duties, it's permitted. Kama also, which is blessed by dharma, which is approved by dharma, is okay, he says. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Any desire which is under the purview of righteousness is fine. It won't come in your way of spirituality. But which is beyond or which is not dharma, that will always be an obstacle. So this is what I am saying. Artha, kama, moksha, everything should be based on dharma only. That is the idea Ashtavakra is telling. Yes, you can enjoy life, but life should not enjoy you. Enjoy the world, world should not enjoy you. Because God is interested in giving you His grace, so He will pull away all those things from you. Then you will feel the pain. So don't have desire for it. That is the first part. Second, forgive yourself, forgive people who have hurt you and who might hurt you in the future also. How many of us are capable of doing? If you are not, then develop that strength. Because if you don't do, Ashtavakra told me, if you are sincere about liberation, then do all this. If you are not sincere, let us not waste time. That's why it starts with Mukti Michchasi Chetat. If you are really, really sincere about liberation, then you better do all these things. If you are not sincere, let us not waste time. Janaka is sincere. So the first quality says Kshama. I have explained a bit about that. Then next quality is Arjava, straightforwardness. No mixing thoughts and words, no mincing words. But that does not mean you become rude to people. in the name of truth. Some people are very rude. Arjava is straightforwardness. What it is, it should be like that. You can't be one thing inside, one thing outside. Arjava is absolute integrity of thought, word and action. That is manasa ekam, vachasya ekam, karmanya ekam, mahatmana. Anyat, vachasanyat, karmanyanyat, duratmanam, it says. The one whose thought, word and action are completely in sync, in harmony, is the great one, is a good person. When it is out of sync, it is the quality of a bad person, it is said. So thought, word and action. Long back, I had met a journalist and I asked, you have interviewed so many great people, what is that one common quality about these people that you have noticed? He said their thought, word and action are completely aligned. I was surprised by that answer. But he said they are the people, what they think, that is what they speak, that is what they do. And all are great achievers in the various fields of spirituality, social work, business, political field. So he had interviewed so many of them. So I was curious, I asked him and this is the answer he gave. All of them have perfect integrity of thought, word and action. They have no discord, no disconnect. That itself is a huge task. So Arjava is so important. Integrity of thought, word and action. You say, God, I belong to you, then you better belong to God. You say, God, I have surrendered to you, better surrender to God then. So my whole question is that are we really in sync, our thought, words and actions? That is the second quality Ashtavakra is asking us to practice. Arjava. Third one he says, Daya. This is my favorite quality, compassion. Compassion for everyone, not for only those whom you know, whom you are related to, whom you are affiliated to, associated with. No, compassion for all. Ashtavakra is talking about unconditional compassion for all beings. That is very important. Unless you have that, let us not continue the studies, is what Ashtavakra is almost saying. So, Kshama, Arjava, Daya, that itself is a lot of difficulty, isn't it? I mentioned here the story of that sage and the scorpion. That sage's compassion. Scorpion is biting, again and again he is dropping the scorpion back. Again the scorpion is drowning. Sage picks it again. Keeps getting bitten. Hrit plus Daya, he would say. That which is filled with compassion is the heart. The heart without compassion is no heart, it's a piece of stone. So that is the idea of compassion. When you make a prayer next time in your own way, or Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu, you chant with that sincerity of compassion. Don't do a lip service. Feel it. Chant it even once, but chant it with complete conviction in that compassion. That is the third quality. Fourth one, it says Tosha. Tosha means contentment. Tosham is not happiness, it's contentment. Being contented always with whatever we have. That is a great spiritual quality. Most of the people are never happy here. Why? Because they always think they could get something better or they could have that also, this also. So never done. Krishnana jirna vayameva jirna, says Bhartrihari. Our desires are never done. We are done. We become old, our desires never become old. Something or the other we are always asking for. What we have in our hand, we don't care about it. Somebody else is having, we bother about. So that is the issue. Joke, when I was a kid, some school story it was. It seems one fellow got a boon. He served a sage and got a boon that whatever he asked will be granted. So he asked that I want to have a big house. Suddenly his house became very big, but then he saw his neighbor's house became bigger than his house. Then he said, what is this? He said, no, this boon has one corollary to it or whatever, an addendum to it, that whatever you ask, your neighbor will get twice of it. He said, okay, let me try. Get me a kg of gold. A kg of gold appeared, a kilogram of gold. The neighbor's house, 2 kilograms of gold appeared, it seems. Then he said, let me have so much of wealth. Whatever he asked for in the neighbor's house, twice the amount of wealth appeared. Then he is not happy about he becoming rich and wealthy. He is worried about why neighbor is becoming more rich. He is not contented with what he has. He has a problem that other fellow is getting, without doing anything, he is getting simply so much. We are like that. What we have, we are not happy with it. We all look around and see what others have. Contentment is another great quality. It's not given to everybody. It's not given to everybody. And then the The fifth quality is also there, Satyam. Shama, Arjava, Daya, Tosha, Satyam, Piyusha Vadhyaja. Fifth one is Satyam. And what is Satyam? Satyam is not telling truth. Truth is the literal translation of Satyam. But truth does not mean stating things as they are. That is fact. Our scriptures have two words, Ritam and Satyam. Ritam means fact. Satyam means that which is unchangeable. Facts can change. Now it is day. This is a fact. This is not the truth. After some time this will become night. So these are facts, they are Ritam. Satyam is the experience of existence. That is Satyam. In our scriptures, Satyam is considered as the idea of who you truly are. Beyond all the falsehood of wrong identification with body, mind, that sense of self is the truth. That is the Satyam ultimately. But then in the local parlance, the Satyam means always acting from that point of permanence, not from the point of temporariness. Anything you think, say or do, think how it will lead you to the permanence of things. Permanent joy in it, permanent satisfaction in it, permanent happiness in it, permanent contentment in it. Work towards that. But also it comes to the level that you do not lie anymore, you do not cheat anybody, you do not defraud anybody, you do not deceive anybody. That is also truth. But truth's greatest value or quality is to be always acting from that point or position of God. Because God alone is permanent, so God alone is truth. So how God would think, say and act like that, that would be the ultimate practice of truth. All other things keep changing, so we don't call them as truth, they are only facts. So we have to always work from the point of view of what God would think, say or do, and accordingly align ourselves. If you can understand these 5 things, Shama, forgiveness or forbearance both, Arjava, straightforwardness, Daya, compassion for all, unconditional compassion for all, Tosha, contentment in all situations, and Satyam, always practicing godliness in our life. How God would think, speak or do, we also should think, speak and act accordingly. It means it is only for the welfare of all that we should live, simple as that, right? You cannot live for yourself, because living for yourself is poisonous. Living for others is nectarine. All these qualities help you live your life better for others' sake. That is the idea of our scriptures. See, selflessness is at the core of spirituality. One cannot be selfish and also be spiritual. It is not possible. These are antithetic. One has to be absolutely selfless to be absolutely spiritual. Some selflessness, some spirituality. Lot of selflessness, lot of spirituality. But ultimate selflessness is equal to liberation. If you are not totally selfless, you cannot be liberated. So Ashtavakra is very clear. He starts off saying, let us talk about big things later. Let us begin with simple practices towards this goal. How to develop dispassion, how to attain liberation, how to attain wisdom of the self. Let us begin with small steps. First, stop running behind pleasures of the world. Stop, because that is poisonous. In Triparahasya also a story is there, how a bunch of foolish friends, they pass through a forest, they are hungry and they eat a berry which tastes very sweet in the beginning, but it is some kind of substance it is. So it makes you feel very good in the beginning, but later it turns you into mad people. You don't even know what you are doing. So they beat each other and harm each other like that. Even Vivek Chudamani Shankaracharya says, spirituality is bitter in the beginning, but sweet at the end. Worldliness is sweet in the beginning, but bitter at the end. In fact, he says it seems poisonous at the beginning, but it is actually nectarine at the end. Whereas the other one, worldliness, seems nectarine in the beginning, but it is poisonous at the end. That is how it works in spirituality. Bitter medicine it is. But you must take it to cure yourself of the illness of the worldliness. So the idea of Ashtavakra is that he straight away demands so much from us in the very first opening shloka. You better get your act together before we proceed discussing more ideas. Ashtavakra is so clear about it. Now just practicing this one shloka itself can take us lifetimes, because one day we will forgive, the other day we cannot. One day we are contented, the other day we cannot. One day we are compassionate to some people, other day we are not compassionate. In that itself we are struggling. Imagine what is going to come in the rest of the text. What is amazing is he starts Mukti Michasi Cheta. If you are really serious about your liberation, then this is what you must do. Let's begin here. Other things we will achieve, greater ideas and things we'll achieve. But all I'm saying is that let us digest this much, because this itself is lots for beginning our spiritual journey. Other people you don't forgive, the other person doesn't know he walked away from your life, it is okay, you don't have to deal with it. But you can't forgive yourself, you have to deal with yourself every day. How do you look yourself in the mirror? How do you deal with yourself every day? How do you pick yourself up and do what you need to do? It's so difficult, especially when you are being good and somebody is not being nice to you. It is so difficult. That's why that sage and scorpion story. Sage is being nice to the scorpion, but the scorpion in its ignorance is going on stinging the sage. So this is a part of life. That itself is a lot on this spiritual path, just forgiving. So one thing I will expect is that I'm not asking you to forgive everybody right away. It takes time, but forgive the most difficult person today. The easier ones we will deal with it tomorrow. When you go back, sit down and say, this is the most hurtful thing in my heart. That might be your mother, that might be your brother, your husband, your friend, your boss, your subordinate, anybody. Just go back, remove that thorn from your heart and throw it away. I know it's very difficult, it won't happen overnight, but just start working on it. At least by end of the Ashtavakra Gita, you would have achieved something out of it. Start with that. 2. Arjava. Be the same person inside and outside. Don't be two people. Be the same. I know it's sometimes difficult, you have to behave. Behavior is okay. Just to be nice, to be say Satyam Bruyat, Priyam Bruyat, Na Bruyat, Satyam Apriyam. Do not speak truth or do not be in a way that would hurt people. But say things in a nicer way. Behave with people in a nicer way. Even if you don't truly mean it, at least try to be nice. This says, don't lie nevertheless. Don't lie. But don't be rude. That's the other way. At least sweeten your words, sweeten your thoughts. This is how spirituality can help you be a better person. You can still be in the world is not in you. You can still enjoy everything, but none of this according to your desires, but according to God's will. Ashtavakra compassion that he teaches Janaka, repeats his lessons again and again. Janaka asks many doubts and questions, re-asks them. Again he repeats for his sake, like Krishna does. So this is the story of a guru and Shishya, a beautiful tradition of our scriptures, and this is the highest knowledge that is available in the world that one can experience. It is experiential, it is possible. Ashtavakra gives you that courage, that conviction that it is possible for me too, provided I follow the instructions as per Ashtavakra. And so everybody follows that, they will get it. So you don't have to run behind things, everything will come to you. This is a life of freedom. This is a life that all these sages talk about. It looks like this. It does not look like the textbook picture of bearded sage sitting in the Himalayas, all disheveled and shrunken. No, it looks like this, very much active, doing good for the world, living a comfortable life. Whatever is needed is given and taken care of. This is the life that you all can lead. And that is why Ashtavakra is very practical, because he tells Janaka, you don't have to give up your kingdom, you don't have to run away to forest, be here and do what you have got to do, but do it with a different attitude. That attitudinal change, that is what Ashtavakra will bring about in you.